Hello, NLA.
What do you think? Not as good as the van?
Not as good as the van. Nothing
Damn
can
it.
compete with that.
Nothing beats the van, right?
Nothing. Yeah, this is actually a nice car.
What?
I don't care.
I mean, we're just getting like basic shit. I guess we'll just go to ours.
Yeah, we're just gonna get ice cream. The
Car's so
essentials.
loud. Jesus Christ! What is wrong with you?
I feel like you have to enjoy
Are
the
you
car.
trying to kill me?
Hello guys, my name is Han, and I'm starting a YouTube series where I buy and sell fun enthusiast cars that have now come down to a price range where young people like me can afford. So hopefully this will give you an insight on what it's like to own these cars that I know many of us have been eyeing for a while. And hopefully through some clever negotiation, I can make a couple bucks buying and selling these cars, and hopefully one day I'll be able to trade up to my dream car. So actually this M5 is the second car that I'm doing for this series. The first car was a 2013 Audi S4, which I bought for $12,900, and then I sold for $14,300. So a $1,400 profit. And for this M5, I decided to put another few $1,000s in for the series, and we'll see where this goes. So I live in Austin, but I found this F10 M5 in Houston. It is currently the cheapest F10 M5 listed in the US. It has 115,000 miles, 40,000 on the motor. It has all the options listed, a tune and a custom straight pipe exhaust system. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I was also looking at some R8s, but that's way out of my price range and actually is my dream car. So after putting the BMW into Carfax, it has a suggested retail value of 25 to 26 grand, and a $19,000 trade-in value. And there's nothing wrong with the titles, no prior accidents. So very important to always check your Carfax, guys. Now, as you guys can see from the listing, the M5 actually has a lien title. Now, lien title may scare some people away because sometimes you have to put money up front to pay off the loan and not receive the title for 2 to 3 weeks for the bank to release the title. But it actually can be a good way to get a great deal on a vehicle if you can do the proper Carfax check, make sure the seller's trustworthy, and a lot of times it just comes down to you judging his character. The 2013 Audi S4 I actually flipped for a profit was a lien title as well. Now, a lot of these sellers, when they sell their cars with a loan, it's because they need fast cash, and because the risky character of the trade, sometimes you can snipe a good deal. So I reached out to him. I know the car was valued on Carfax between 25 and 26 grand. I did some research for prices of F10 M5s around the country, and this is indeed the cheapest one, and it seemed correct for the car. But Kelley Blue Book has it at $19,000, which then I offered him $18,500, even though I knew that was below the value of the car. And what he told me actually was that he went to CarMax the day prior, and they offered him $19,000 in cash for the car. And he didn't bring the title with him, so he was going to go back today and literally just sell the car to CarMax. And at that point, I knew that this was a good deal because CarMax offered him $19,000, and he said he would sell it to me for $20,000. After some negotiation, we agreed on 19.5 if I can literally get to Houston tomorrow. So I guess I'm gonna go check out the car. Plans before leaving, guys. I'm doing a horrible job with my plans, and they're dying. Got enough screens. So here, guys, I actually got my other friend Gary to take me to buy the car. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Just to state here, guys, I do not condone texting and driving.
Yeah, 5315 is right here. Oh, that's a nice BMW.
So once I saw the BMW, I did the routine checkup around the outside. Saw some minor blemishes on the sides. The brakes do need to be changed, but thankfully he took it to CarMax pretty recently, so they pretty much did a PPI for me. I did not have to take this car to a mechanic. And the owner actually used to work at a performance BMW tuner shop, so he did a lot of the work by himself, and he seemed very knowledgeable about the vehicle. In fact, he's actually working on a N54 SWAT E30 right now.
This one I'm converting to single.
Wait, so what do you have in here? Can you just talk me real quick through it?
Yeah, so essentially it's just the N54 and the E30 chassis. It's a 6-speed, and generally these are twin turbo, but it's converted to single turbo. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
But yeah, I've started already and shit, but I'm like redoing the wiring harness and everything.
Yeah, this is badass. I always fucking... Oh, you're gonna make it like... Are you making a track car or just like...
No, like roll racing car.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
It'll be like 750 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
So he was actually nice enough to take me to his storage unit to give me the extra stock parts for the exhaust intake and head grills. And it's all going to fit in the trunk. I mean, look at that thing. It's huge. Since I recorded this with my hands, I couldn't really film any clips of me going fast on the way home because honestly, this thing with the tune and the exhaust, it's pretty freaking scary. Once we got home, we looked at the car. There's a few rashes on the wheels, some blemishes around the car, but not too bad. It does come with a carbon fiber rear diffuser as well as a carbon fiber rear lip, and those features along with the aftermarket exhaust pipes does give this car a very aggressive look. And being the top of the line 5 Series for 2013, this car has most of the options as well, so it's very luxurious. A lot of the options such as the door handle lights as well as the automatic closing doors, you don't have them in most of the cars today. Looking at the inside, it's a very nice place to be, very comfortable, leather stitching everywhere, a lot of technology for the age, of course. I don't know how I feel about the red seats though, they're a little bit aged. Again, looking at the trunk, it's absolutely massive. You could put a lot of car parts in it or other things, parts, whatever you need. And now let's get it on the road. So a little warning here, guys. The straight pipe aftermarket exhaust is very loud, especially on a cold start, and it does quiet down a little bit after the car settles down. Personally, I don't think I would have gone for such an aggressive setup, but here, have a listen.
Yeah. Wait.
Are you ready? Now, this car is a very nice highway cruiser. With the aftermarket tune, it's pushing a little over 600 horsepower according to the previous owner. And with the kind of sharp handling even for the weight and all the luxuries inside, I think it's a great daily driver, and you can take it on a road trip no problem. The only issue I have, I don't know if you can hear, is the droning can actually get quite loud with this exhaust system. Now, that is going to be much different if you had the stock system or something just a little less aggressive, which is probably what I would have gone with. And now let's take this M5 down some curvier B roads and see how it does there. I apologize for the poor lighting. I thought it'd be cool to film it at night, but it seems like I need a better camera setup.
Alright, there we go.
Okay, I'm gonna put M mode on. Oh, that's not M mode. Restart. M mode on. Confirm. Okay. Alright, ready?
Yeah. Wait.
Can you get the dial out? Where's the camera?
Right where your rear view mirror is.
Actually, dude, low-key, if the camera was right here, it'd be better. So they can see the fucking lights.
Yeah.
So first I want to start with the sound of this car. I mean, with this aftermarket exhaust, the sound is very loud. And I'm sure you can hear some of the burbles and pops and crackles that the car has. And you can change that in the setting of this car too. And it does sound a lot nicer when you're doing spirited driving versus just cruising around town. The drone does not bother you as much. But even with this aftermarket exhaust, I still don't know how I feel about the sound of this M5. It does sound a bit digitalized and artificial, and a lot of that is due to the great sound deadening of technology and
That's so hard.
the luxurious, 5 Series. You're not going to hear the outside as well, and that takes away a bit of the driving experience. Now I wonder if it had the stock exhaust, would it even sound less loud and less apparent? So that's another factor you have to consider. Driving experience wise, it is really fun to drive on the highway, but on some sort of B roads like this where it has curves and stuff, you really cannot stretch the muscles of this car very well. It is just so fast. It feels like a German muscle car. If you push it hard, it does feel planted due to the weight. Because of the weight, it doesn't feel super agile in the corners, and if you push it too hard, the rear tires will spin out just because it has so much power.
Yeah, a little bit.
So overall, it doesn't feel like a great sports car, but more of a compromise between a luxurious daily driver and something that you can go fast on the highway. Now let's talk about the DCT transmission. So the transmission is lightning fast and shifts almost instantaneously. It does kind of have a manual feel to it, like when you stop and you let go of the brake, the car doesn't roll forward automatically. You have to push gas in for it to go forward, just like a manual car would. And I don't know how I feel about that either. It just kind of makes daily driving just that little bit harder, and it doesn't really make a difference when you're driving the car fast. Anyways, so here I'm gonna pull over and let my friend Taka try the 600 horsepower M5 for a little bit.
Why don't you go back?
Like, dude, I'm barely pressing down on the pedal at all, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you start pressing it down, you like really, you can feel the power coming.
Is this faster than a minivan?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Like, dude, you press the pedal down on the Lexus, it still like takes time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like scared if I just press it down.
Yeah. Floor talking, floor.
And, hell no. Lose control, dude.
Just some final thoughts on the M5 before we close out the video. I don't think it's a great choice for a young enthusiast like myself. First of all, back on the driving experience, it doesn't have a lot of soul to when you drive it. It feels a bit detached. With that being said, some people just want one car that fulfills all their needs. So it's a big luxury sedan that can carry a lot of things. You can daily it as well, and it has a lot of horsepower. But the thing is, it has so much power that I don't think it's very usable in most cases, except for sometimes you want to do like one highway pull here and there. So do you really care about that? I don't know. And back to the daily ability, I don't think it's very good either, just due to the reliability and maintenance costs. So BMW for the F10 M5 went to a hot V configuration for their engine, where they put both the turbos inside the V8, and that is to like improve efficiency and performance, because you know the turbos are so close and they can spool up faster and whatnot. But that came with a lot of heat issues, and the car also has some common problems like battery discharge, oil consumption, and just a lot of things that tend to happen with performance BMWs, because a lot of times they're at the forefront of technology. They're using a lot of these new things that hasn't been tested by other brands, which makes them really good compared to cars of their same age but less reliable. Like when I was driving the car around town just for these few weeks that I plan to own it, I was really scared to push it hard or, you know, drive it around even too much, just because I was so scared of something breaking and just like costing so much money. With that being said, I don't think it's a good choice unless you really, really want it. Then I would budget out at least, you know, another 10 grand in reserve for a possible maintenance cost. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel and follow my next videos, where I review other cars, see if they're good for enthusiasts like us. I'm going to leave you with a clip of a highway roll of the M5. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.